After such a nice weekend, you at least hope to be on the podium, right? Yeah, when you of course then retire, is I think painful for everyone.
Listen, guys, hold on, because what's about to happen in Barcelona this weekend could literally change everything we know about Max Verstappen's future in Formula One. We're talking a broken engine, a retirement in Monaco, a fresh power unit, contract exit clauses, and a man who publicly said he's thinking about walking away. This is not just another race weekend. This is the race that could either save his season or completely break his relationship with Red Bull forever. This is Max Verstappen's moment of truth, right at the track where his entire legend was born. Let's break it down. But before, if you want more updates and news on Max, then hit that like button and subscribe for more breakdowns. The track that started it all. Listen, guys, let's go back to May 15th, 2016. An 18-year-old kid barely promoted to Red Bull just 1 week earlier lined up at the Circuit de Barcelona, Catalunya. He had never even properly tested the car before that weekend, and then both Mercedes cars collided on lap 1, and suddenly this teenager was leading the race. He stayed calm, he managed his tires, he held off Kimi Räikkönen in the closing stages, and he crossed that finish line as the youngest race winner in Formula One history. What makes this even more special is that he did all of this on his very first weekend with a brand new team in a car he barely knew. Barcelona didn't just give Max Verstappen his first win, it gave him his identity. So when we say this race matters to him personally, we are not exaggerating even slightly. The Monaco Nightmare. Now fast forward to last Sunday at Monaco, and honestly, it was painful to watch. Max had qualified an incredible second on the grid right behind Kimi Antonelli. The whole paddock was buzzing because Red Bull looked genuinely competitive for the first time all season, and then the lights went out and his car just died. Completely dead. No power, nothing. He even said it himself. The engine just dropped dead. I couldn't have gone through. And what made it even worse is that the team radio confirmed it immediately. Engine is broken, power unit problem, while the rest of the field was already racing away from him. And the internet absolutely went crazy because remember, just the night before qualifying, Max had joked to Antonelli saying, "When the lights go out, just wait 1 second. That's my advice." And then Max himself couldn't even move at the start. The irony was brutal. And fans on social media were brutal right back. The fresh engine and why Barcelona is different. So here's where it gets really interesting. Red Bull has officially confirmed a brand new power unit for this weekend in Barcelona. And that sounds like good news, right? Well, yes and no. Because Barcelona is not Monaco. Monaco is a low-speed, bumpy, tight street circuit, exactly the kind of track where Red Bull has actually been decent this year. Barcelona is high-speed, high downforce, aero-sensitive, and that is exactly where Red Bull has been struggling all season. Max himself admitted it openly before Monaco, saying, "Anywhere with high-speed corners has been our weak point." So this fresh engine better deliver, because if Red Bull looks slow again in Barcelona, there are no more excuses. This is the real test. The 2026 engine crisis nobody expected. Let me show you something that will genuinely shock you. The FIA, under their ADUO program, actually rated the Red Bull Ford power unit as the benchmark engine for the 2026 regulations, the best engine on paper. And yet Red Bull have retired with engine problems in 2 of their first races. They scored only 12 points in the opening 2 rounds, and right now they are sitting as the 4th fastest team behind McLaren, Ferrari, and Mercedes. How does the supposedly best engine produce the worst reliability? The answer goes back to pre-season testing in Bahrain, where the car literally overheated because engineers had placed the intercooler in an unusual position above the V6 to save weight, and in 38-degree desert heat, it completely melted down. On top of that, Racing Bulls, who share the same power unit architecture, also reported a major issue during testing, which tells you this is not just a one-car problem, but a deep-rooted design concern. The gap between what looks good on paper and what actually works on track has been Red Bull's biggest problem all year. Is Max actually thinking about leaving? Now let's talk about the elephant in the room, because after the Japanese Grand Prix, Max Verstappen sat in front of the BBC and said something that genuinely stopped the F1 world. He said he is thinking about whether Formula One is worth it anymore. His own father, Jose, went to De Telegraph and said, Max used to think racing a Formula One car was the most beautiful thing there was, but now I have a rather bleak outlook. That is heavy. And here's the thing, Max has a performance-related exit clause in his Red Bull contract, and reports say he has a window from August to October to trigger it if he's outside the top 2 in the championship standings. He currently sits 7th. Now, to be fair, Max did eventually clarify that he would not take a sabbatical and that if he stops completely, but the fact that we're even having this conversation shows exactly how serious the situation is at Red Bull right now. Toto Wolff is watching very carefully and right on cue. Guess who was spotted having a long conversation with Toto Wolff in the Mercedes hospitality unit at the Canadian Grand Prix? Jos Verstappen, Max's dad. Toto publicly called the transfer rumors silly and said he is perfectly happy with Antonelli and Russell, but Dutch analyst Mike Hezemans put it perfectly when he said, Toto must be laughing right now because last year Max was too expensive, but now Toto has all the cards. And what makes this even more spicy is that signing Verstappen would likely mean releasing George Russell, because Antonelli is considered untouchable at Mercedes right now. Mercedes are leading the championship, Antonelli has won 5 races in a row, and if Verstappen triggers that exit clause in August, there will be a very interesting conversation happening very quickly. What happens next? So let's bring this all together. Barcelona this weekend is carrying an absolutely insane amount of weight. We have a fresh engine that needs to actually work on a high-speed circuit where Red Bull has been exposed all season. We have Max Verstappen sitting 7th in the championship at the track where he became a legend 10 years ago. We have exit clauses, we have Toto Wolff watching from across the paddock, and we have a driver who publicly questioned whether any of this is still worth it. My honest opinion, I think Barcelona will tell us everything. If Red Bull delivers this weekend, Max stays and fights. If they collapse again, that exit clause conversation becomes very real, very fast. And the question I want to leave with you is this: do you genuinely believe Red Bull can still build a car worthy of Max Verstappen before that August window closes? Or is this already over? Drop your answer in the comments because I genuinely want to know what you think.